All right, in this lesson we're going to go over the general auditing standards as adopted by the PCAOB, the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. So we talked about in the last lesson that the PCAOB, when they were developed in the 2002, adopted the gas, 10 gas, and then they started to change it and add more descriptive things to it than just really a list. And so what we have here is the general auditing standards, and there are a lot of them in categories and more descriptive. Now, we're not going to go into detail for every single one of them, and the reason why is a lot of these are going to be familiar from what you learned in the last lesson, which is why I had you watch the last lesson. In this lesson, we're going to kind of give you an overview, and then if you wanted to research them more yourself, you can do that by following the auditing standards number that I'm going to give you as I go through this, okay? So we're going to overview of what the PCAOB says is that a layer of protection that auditors must do in order to say that they have met the standards for performing a proper audit, okay? So GAS, or General Auditing Standards, give directions for auditors when conducting auditing services and expands the conversation of previously developed GAS by the Auditing Standards Board. So again, we said Auditing Standards Board converted that to the PCAOB, adopting the 10 GAS early on, and then as they started to work it, they decided to change some things and put some more detail, meats and bones to it. So we'll start with AS 1000, Auditing Standards 1000. This gives us general principles and responsibilities. So these are general responsibilities that a auditor must observe when they are performing an audit. Responsibilities and functions of the independent auditor. It talks about independence, training and proficiency of the auditor, and due professional care. Again, some of the same things that we talked about in the last lesson. So again, I'm not going to go into details of these, but this is what this section talks about when it says general principles and responsibilities of external auditor that is doing an audit. All right, AS 1100 gives us general concepts, so it gives us a concept or understanding of audit risk. That's something new. Audit evidence, things about audit evidence that we need to keep in mind. And then auditing standards to quality control standards. So making sure that we've got quality control in what we're doing, okay? Then we're going to look at AS 1200, which is general activities, so basically doing the activities of performing the audit. Supervision of the engagement, well, we've seen that before. Part of an audit performed by another auditor. So now we've discussed what happens if we use another auditor's work in our audit. What things do we need to keep in mind when we're doing that? Specialists, using specialists, things to keep in mind when we're using specialists. Audit documentation, what things do we need to have to show that we've actually done the work of an audit? And then engagement, review quality, things to think about when we're talking about reviewing the quality of our engagement and the quality of our audit. So that's AS 1200, general activities. And then finally, communication, AU 1300, auditor's communication. So talking about the auditor's communication with the audit committee, things to think about when we're discussing things with the audit committee, and when do we need to approach the audit committee. And then deficiencies that we see, how to communicate deficiencies that we see to the entity that we're auditing or to the board of directors and the audit committee. Okay, so again, this is a quick overview giving you a little bit of explanation of what we have now for public companies. GAS is still appropriate for private company audits. So when we look at what's the minimum standard for auditors on a private company, we still use GAS in the last lesson. When we talk about public companies, now we use the general auditing standards as put together by the PCAOB, and the sections are here, and the topics that are within those sections are these right here, and that's what those sections will talk about when we talk about what kind of standards do we have for auditors who audit public companies. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you like what you saw, make sure you press the thumbs up button that's right below here. If you have any questions, make sure that you leave a comment or that question in the comment box below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you press the subscribe button. It's just below me. Hey, if you want more videos like this, make sure you go to www.patrickleemsa.com to see more videos like this, or if you just want to learn more about accounting. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.